it's a shame that academia seems to not, they have all these people thinking about and criticizing other institutions, but they seem to not introspect on academia itself and try to improve academia.
Gone. Same one. I honestly, I'm not even playing this up, but I've taken a lot of inspiration and even specific lessons from MMA fighters for how to do like the intellectual life. I really do honestly think that. I remember one day when I was like at the gym one morning, like when I was an academic, before going to work that day as an academic, I was at the gym and I probably listening to some like MMA podcast or something like that, because like I got really into that stuff when I was a few years ago. And I remember thinking, I had this thought, this was like one of the thoughts that really set me down the path of quitting academia. The realization I had was professional fighters, they spend most of their time practicing fighting on a daily basis, day in and day out. They're in the gym practicing fighting. What they do is fighting. They're professional fighters, so they spend their time fighting. And it occurred to me, like, I'm an academic because I'm trying to be a professional intellectual. I want to do intellectual work full time, professionally, so I'm an academic. And I spend like 20% of my life doing intellectual work. And it kind of hit me. It was like, I'm not actually a professional intellectual. As an academic, I'm not a professional intellectual. I'm more a professional bureaucrat. And if I want to be a real heavy-hitting, like serious, full-time professional intellectual, I need to figure out a way that the majority of my time is actually doing real intellectual work. Like I need to wake up every morning and spend most of my time doing original, creative, intellectual work, whether it be reading, writing, or speaking in a kind of sophisticated intellectual way that I aspire to cultivate. If I'm not doing that as a majority of my time, then I'm not really a professional intellectual. And it was actually my kind of like interest in professional fighting that really made me realize that. Because I was like, if these professional MMA fighters who are like the best in the world, if they spent 60% of their time doing like paperwork in an office in order to have the right to like practice fighting, they wouldn't be half the fighters they were, right? I seriously, that seriously was one of the many like little realizations I had where I was like, academia is kind of bullshit.
I think it's a shame that academia seems to not, they have all these people thinking about and criticizing other institutions, but they seem to not introspect on academia itself and try to improve academia.
Gone. Same one.
Like you could take that and leverage that to try to like revitalize the institution, but it seems like you can't think about how to improve academia from within academia.
Yeah, it's a good question. Maybe someone will figure out a way to do it, but I definitely felt like it was hopeless. I felt like all you could do is escape.